this video, we're going to solve quadratic equations by just taking the square roots of things. So these are pretty simple quadratic equations. A few samples are from the book here. So one type we could have 2 times or 2x squared is equal to 8. Well, we can start to solve this by um, dividing each side by 2. And then we get x squared is equal to 4. To get x by itself, we take the square root of both sides. And then, so the square root of x squared is x. Square root of 4 is 2, but it's actually two things. That's called the principal square root. There's also the negative square root. So when we take the square root of 4, there's actually two answers. The answers is, we say, is plus or minus 2. That's because negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to 4. And of course, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So we include both the principal and the negative square root. Other example where there's only going to be one solution is as in this. Let's say I have w squared minus 12 is equal to negative 12. That's an equal sign. To get w by itself, I could start by adding 12 to both sides. And I get w squared is equal to 0. That's an equal sign. I take the square root of both sides, and I get w is equal to 0. And that's the end of that one. There's only one solution to that. In other words, it's just going to touch the x axes. Now, other type is something like this, where we have b squared plus 10 is equal to 4. I subtract 10 from both sides. That's a subtraction again. And I get b squared is equal to negative 6. Well, I start taking the square root, but we can't take a square root of a negative number, at least not as we know it. And so there are, because you can't do that, there's no real solutions. A few years down the road, you'll learn that there's something called imaginary numbers also. So there are some imaginary solutions. I'm going to get another page here, so let me just get a new page here. I won't save that one. We're going to do one other type of problem, and that is we're going to do something like 4 r squared is equal to 9. Well, we divide each side by 4 in an attempt to get r by itself. And then we get r squared is equal to 9 over 4. We can take the square root of both sides to get r by itself. And we get r is equal to the square root of 9/4. There's a couple ways we can do this. We can say this is also the square root of 9 over the square root of 4, I mean. And so r is equal to plus or minus 3 halves. it's plus or minus again because we have uh, the principal positive square root, and then we also have a negative square root. So we would say r is equal to plus or minus 3 halves, or the solutions are negative 3 halves and positive 3 halves. Okay, I think I'll end this video for now, and that'll give you an introduction at least.